It's happening. They're turning on each other. Blake and Ryan are turning on each other. I am serious. I feel it. So if you guys haven't seen the video, Stuff with the Deets, go on her page, watch like her latest video. It's basically a video recapping something that Candace Owens posted about this whole situation. And in that video, Candace Owens allegedly got a source, right, that worked on the set, stating like who the true villain is, and it was like, oh, it's Ryan Reynolds. And then Steph with the Deets was saying how she also got a DM from a similar source saying basically identical things, right? Follow me. For me, hypothetically, allegedly, let's just play hypotheticals. I personally think that that source is from Blake's team. I think that Blake is trying to get her story out there, like, look here, it isn't me, it's my husband. Now, do I fully believe that she didn't willingly go along with it? Absolutely not. I know what I saw in that clip of her being bossy and taking over the set, and in those text messages, I know what I saw. Like, if anything, what I find most likely to believe personally is that Ryan started doing his whole jealous whatever act, right? And I do believe that Ryan definitely is fully like, spearheading this. But I also do believe that so is Blake. I do believe it is a 50-50 partnership, or maybe 60-40. I don't believe that she's a victim of her husband's behavior. Because I'm sorry, you were a lot bit too bossy and too controlling and too much of a nightmare for it to all be Ryan. Like, you were a nightmare from the beginning. They didn't even have, like, let's not forget that she was a nightmare from the beginning. So what I think is happening is that Blake is now sending sources, right, to purposefully DM people who are, high profile, or like they have a big following, that are reporting this whole case so that they could get the word out there. They're like, by the way, it's Ryan. Ryan is the one who started this whole thing. It all started with Ryan. Because I'm not sorry. From the first lawsuit that Justin filed against New York Times, in those documents, it shows how she was I'm referring to Blake. Blake was a nightmare, even from costumes. Even from before they really started filming. She already wanted to change things. So I don't believe that she's just this victim and that it's all Ryan's fault. I fully believe that she's a willing, participant, equally a nightmare as freaking Ryan.
Like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and now apparently Ryan Reynolds has been behind the whole thing this entire time. I usually don't keep up with that shit, but I think this case is a prime example of how a man's fragile ego can be so destructive to his environment, himself, those around him, relationships, etc., etc. Also search it up. There's so many resources about how Ryan Reynolds has been involved the entire time. But essentially, news is coming out that Ryan Reynolds has been going on set watching the dailies, which is just logged footage of what was shot. Homeboy saw his wife, kind of low-key fall in love with Justin Baldoni. Reports are coming out that basically that was kind of the catalyst to lead the suing, putting Justin Baldoni in the basement, Justin Baldoni not being there for press. All this just because ugly boy Reynolds is insecure as fuck and probably worried that he's gonna lose his girl the way he got his girl. This case doesn't really symbolize and epitomize what a fragile, sad, insecure, non-accountable human being of a man, what that does to environments. I don't know what will.
I heard a new rumor about the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively situation. A source that claims to have been on set when this movie was being filmed claims that Ryan Reynolds is actually the problem. I don't know who this source is. I don't know if it's true. But rumor has it that Mr. Reynolds visited the set while they were filming, and he started reviewing some of the dailies, which is daily footage that they filmed. And he started reviewing the script, and something set him off. Allegedly, it was then heard that he and Blake were having a fight in her trailer. From that point on, they tried to insert themselves, take control of the movie. Baldoni alleges that Ryan Reynolds had him dropped from their talent agency. Honestly, makes a lot of sense to me. If Blake was getting pressure from Ryan, maybe he was jealous, I don't know. But this is something new that we've heard. Again, we don't know if it's true, but what do you guys think?
Justin Baldoni should have done better. Perez Hilton here, and during production on their movie, It Ends With Us, there was a birthing scene, and poor Blake Lively had barely any clothes on, and she was subjected to unnecessary crew members during this really delicate moment. That's what she claims. Both of their lawsuits have so much material that I never discussed this before. B-list actress... Wait, that's not a diss, by the way. That is pure facts. And that's perhaps being extra nice. She is objectively not A-list. In terms of acting, okay? In terms of box office. In terms of Q score and name recognition to open a movie. She's never, ever done that. She's not an A-list actress, okay? I'm not saying that she's B-list Blake to be anything other than just silly, but it's also true. Anyways, Taylor Swift's bestie alleges that he treated her nude scenes recklessly, inconsiderately, especially when there was supposed to be a closed set for those scenes. In her complaint, she points to one particular scene where her character gives birth, saying that she was nude, save for a small piece of modesty cloth over her lady parts. Well, that's not true, according to Justin Baldoni. In his lawsuit, he countered that she was wearing a pregnancy suit. Basically, it's a prosthetic covering to make it look to the audience that they were looking at her pregnant belly, but it was actually made of rubber. Baldoni's lawsuit says, in her complaint, Lively alleges that during a scene, the birthing scene, she was, quote, mostly nude with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia. And that there were non-essential persons present. This allegation is knowingly false. To begin with, to describe Lively as mostly nude and naked from below the chest down is dishonest. Lively was wearing black briefs. Wait, what? We go from her alleging that she just had a piece of fabric, a modesty cloth protecting her bits from the crew, to him telling us she was actually wearing black briefs. The camera must have footage of what really went down and release that footage too. Release that footage, please! Back to what he